Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Thursday, December 10th, and we are going to be continuing with just some holiday activities moving forward. So you'll see on today's agenda that you will need your iPad, which is a charged iPad or next to being plugged in, so you can watch this screencast. You'll need a pencil, your Read 180 binder, and your independent reading book. Your agenda for today is you'll again do your daily check-in. We're working on week 11, day 4 for your bell work. Today's activity is going to be similes and metaphors, and then your assignment will be doing some task cards, being able to differentiate between similes and metaphors, which is our learning target for today. Then remember, you still have 20 minutes of software to do and 20 minutes of independent reading. So at the end of the week, which is tomorrow, Friday, you should have 100 software minutes recorded, and then your reading log where you read for 20 minutes every day will be submitted in Schoology. Just a reminder, please check your student view for missing work. That will give you an update with your grades. As you turn things in, give me a day or two and I will try to get that late work submitted. All right, so we have countdown to winter break. Today is 10 days to go, and the activity is learn to draw. And the activity is going to be where you can follow this YouTube video and learn how to draw pumpkin spice cocoa. And again, if you go ahead and do this activity or any of the other ones, if you send me what you've done, it would be fun to see if what the finished product looks like. All right, so today's activity is similes and metaphors. Now there's a short video that we're going to have you watch, so let me see if I can get that linked here.
Hey sis, it's Fleece Miss.
I just have to turn this over so.
The whole squad looking fly in the half zip. It's the coziest Fleece Miss that ever existed.
Shop cozy styles for everyone on your list. We holiday only at Old Navy and OldNavy.com.
Stay together like the stars and the moon. Similes and metaphors are similar, but nothing more than a comparison in different ways. Similes just like as metaphors, they've none of that. They just say exactly what they wanna say. Sometimes you're hot and then sometimes you're cold. They
Okay, now we're back on track here, so I'll get to the next slide. Hang on tight, gang. All right, so after watching that video, we're just going to go through a couple slides, and then we'll do some practice items together, and I'll let you go ahead and do your assignment on similes and metaphors. So a simile, as we heard in the video, is a comparison between two unlike things that have something in common. A simile always uses the words like or as to make a comparison. So here are some examples, and you've probably heard some of these. So as hungry as a bear, that means you're just starving. You're so hungry you could eat anything that, and we know that an appetite of a bear is very large. As nutty as a fruitcake, that means you're kind of silly. People might think you're a little bit crazy, and remember they're comparing the nuts, your actions, like the nuts in a fruitcake. You might say so-and-so is as quick as lightning. That means they move very, very fast. So again, we know how lightning speed, that means it's super, super fast. Maybe the next one you've heard, as slippery as an eel. And we know eels are very slippery. If you've ever touched them, they're very slimy and they move around a lot. And so if you were trying to pick something up and you dropped it, you might say, this was as slippery as an eel. The next one, as solid as a rock. Again, you might compare somebody's actions or somebody being as solid as a rock. And we know a rock is very heavy. We know it's maybe hard to move sometimes. So it's very solid. It's very concrete. You might be compared, maybe somebody says so-and-so is as stubborn as a mule. And we know mules have a mind of their own. If you've ever seen them trying to move one, they don't move very easily. You can't even nudge them. So somebody's behavior might be compared to being as stubborn as a mule. Now, the last one, as sturdy as an oak. Now, I might be comparing somebody's work ethic or somebody's personality being very sturdy, or maybe they're very strong. I might be comparing to how strong as an oak tree. Again, I could be comparing two unlike things like the oak tree and how strong a person is. So again, using the words like or as. Now, metaphors are really the same kind of thing. They're similar, but there's one difference. So a metaphor is a figure of speech comparing two unlike things that have something in common. The comparison is made without using the words like or as. So they're really kind of calling one thing the other. So remember, metaphors do not use the words like or as. So if you see that comparison, that's going to be your first clue. So here are some metaphors. Patty was a raging tiger when she lost her lunch money. Now we know Patty's not literally a raging tiger, but we know that she was probably extremely upset. She was really mad when she lost her money. The second one, during the night, the forest was a dark, frightening battlefield. Again, looking at the forest in the nighttime, comparing it to a frightful or very scary battlefield. Another metaphor, a heart of stone. And we know that a stone is very hard, it's very flat, there's no feeling. So if somebody is said to have a heart of stone, that means maybe they're not very loving or very friendly. The next one, he has a heart of a lion. And again, there being compared, the heart of a person being compared to that of a lion. You might have heard this one, the next couple ones actually. You are the sun in my sky. Now we know when the sun is out, it's very bright, it's very uplifting. So somebody might say this to a loved one, you are the sun in my sky. So they think very highly of that person. The next one, you are the light in my life. Again, lights are bright, they lead the path. So there's, it's bright, it's happy, it's not a scary place. So again, that person might be compared to a light, but how they bring sunshine and life or positivity into this person's life. The next one, she is my east and my west. She's my compass. And again, there we know a compass helps kind of lead the way if you're lost. So maybe this person is saying, she is my compass. She helps guide the path. She helps guide me to make sure I'm on the right path and doing the right things. All right. So these are what your cards look like when you go to Schoology, and you'll find them in the holiday activity number 1 assignment. So again, we're just going to practice these so you know what you have to do. Remember, like or as is a simile, and a metaphor does not have that. Now, when you do the task cards, you will submit them to Notability, and you can just write S right on the card to identify, is this a simile or is it a metaphor? So the first one says, at night, the Christmas lights were bright as day. And we notice the word as in the, if you look at the word as right here, we know that then this is a simile. So on this task card, you would write an S. Let's look at number 2. The falling icicle cut like a dagger through the snow. Okay, so do we see any of those words? We do. We see the word like. So we see that they're comparing the falling icicle, how it cut, and it cut like a dagger. So again, we know that this is a simile. Task card number 3. The sun was a stove, melting the ice from the roads. Well, I can see that they're comparing the sun and the stove, because those are two unlike things, but I don't see any words like or as in it, so I will know that this is a metaphor. So on this card, you would write the letter M. And task card number 4. The bright ornament was as round and red as Rudolph's nose. So the two things being compared are the ornament and Rudolph's nose. And we know it's round and it's red. And they have used the words as to make that comparison. So this is a simile. Okay? All right, so here's your tasks for today. Make sure you do your daily check-in in Schoology. We have day 4, week 11 for your bell work. Once you complete the task cards for similes and metaphors, just attach it or submit it into Schoology for today's assignment. Also 20 minutes of software and then reading for 20 minutes. Now for some of you who have not been joining Zoom and you're watching this screencast, if you are missing some assignments, please reach out to me if you need extra help or a plan on how to get caught up. If you did receive a midterm report, that's because you were at risk of failing Read 180, and an extra help or a plan might help you, but you have to reach out to me. All right, so that's all I have for today. So once we're done listening to this, you can go on to do your task cards and the rest of your things. All right, have a great day.